What's up guys, it's the Devil's Talon here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at how you can improve your W keying skills by analyzing one of NAE's best trios, and that is Slack, Jahq, and Acorn, and how their W keying skills allow them to place second in FNCS qualifier week 3 opens. But before I get into this video analysis guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. Alright guys, as you can see on the screen we have Acorn's POV. No surprise that this trio is landing Salty Towers, W key, first game of the tournament. They're going to end up dropping a 40 bomb, but the most impressive thing of this entire VOD review is that half of it is as a duo. Unfortunately, you're going to see Acorn lag out later, but they still an insane job, pick up about 20 plus kills as a duo. So we're going to see how this early game Acorn frags out this entire early game, so we're going to really focus on him and what he does. But this entire trio just absolutely dominates this POI. We're going to see right here a huge beam from Acorn actually ends up getting the frag early on, and then what you're going to see is Slacks is going to come help him, and they're going to get a nice floor take right here, as you can see right here. This is just good teamwork. One breaks, one holds, and then this opponent is caught completely off guard. They get absolutely lasered, both of them, and Jahq is going to actually end up picking up that opponent. No need to see that, he kind of funnels in, but a quick 3 kills off main building. Now you're going to see good usage of the harpoon here. Jahq is going to try and get in, but notice he doesn't overcommit. Good angle, good right hand peek. He's not able to get in, and that's okay. He doesn't force anything. He waits for his opponent to get there. Slacks is up top fighting as a solo, but what you're going to see is Acorn and Jahq are going to end up taking out this particular duo. That's just a good job of patience right there, not overextending as a solo. And then he waits for his teammate to get there, and they end up ending that fight significantly faster. Now they're pushing up this opponent on top. We're going to take a look. Acorn does a great job of aim, but his loot is shambles, gray tack, and no types of ammunition. They kind of link up here again. What's going to end up happening? It's going to take a little while, I believe, till they get into their next engagement. Acorn, they end up getting this long, drawn-out fight with this particular solo. He ends up running all over the place. We're going to kind of just skip on through. He drops ammo because, again, like you saw, Acorn was shambles. Now here, we finally get into another engagement. Let's take a look here. Sorry for going a little bit too fast there. Acorn does a great job here. He ends up getting absolutely fried. And then you're going to see him get a good beam. Like I said, very shambles on ammo, but not overextending, realizing that he doesn't have a lot. He hears this opponent sand-tating. So what ends up happening, waits till his teammate gets there, get good feast control box, and then creates a nice little pinch. You're going to see them on both sides of the wall. They have it. Look at this. This is a textbook pinch and isolation. This is textbook trios right here. Notice you have 2 people facing this guy. Has no chance. It's just a great example of a pinch and isolating. So they shake, get some extra, and what's going to end up happening is Acorn is going to again get another pickup on this opponent. Good fry right there. They actually use a splash as well. They push up slowly, and one of these opponents looks like Acorn is going to get that frag again as well. Now what ends up happening is you have a team that's not very intelligent. They decide to basically not recognize that who's at their POI. One professional players at your POI. No reason to reboot there. But what you're going to see is you're going to see him get another knock, another elimination, and this is just free. This is really fortunate for this trio. Opponent tries to snipe. They're absolutely shambles. There's no reason to revive here. And then just good pressure. Good attempt to piece control. The opponent does get out. But you're going to see a quick trio right for Acorn right here with a charge, and that is a GG's. Let's skip on the next part. The next engagement is pretty fast, but what all they do is textbook here. Almost every trio in the professional trio in the world does this. You win, you get the slurp truck as your reward. They get here, and I don't know. You're gonna see Jahq and Slacks go ahead in the vehicle, but Acorn kind of stay back. But you're gonna see Slacks, and they just kind of slow play. They don't really force anything. He gets hit for a little bit, but doesn't decide to crank up. Right? He waits for Slacks to get there. But we're gonna see that Acorn is gonna do something very, very good here early. Again, power, loot, abusing it. Snipers are very strong. Always good in any modes, especially, you know, trios getting, it's a huge part of trios getting that first knock. And what is going to end up happening here, he's going to get a knock right here. And now it's a 3v2. Oops, I hit the wrong buttons, I apologize. We're going to go to Slacks and them, as we've already seen this. But notice how they're going to kind of slow play, but once they get the knock, they're going to turn the fight and end it fast. Slacks underneath, they're slow playing, not forcing any crazy retakes, looking for quick little peeks. They're waiting. They end up splitting masses. What he's waiting for, he actually gets jumped on, a huge crack. And then, fortunately, Jahq is there down below, I believe, and ends up getting a pickup on both. After that duo dropped down, that's a really clutch shot. Kind of got caught right here. So he drops some mats, but the opponent then jumps on his head. But Jahq's going to do a great job of then editing down, crack him for 49. The opponent falls down there, and then they just kind of wombo combo him, and he's dead pretty instantaneously. And then let's move on to the next portion of this VOD review. So good start early off to a quick 15 kills. Now, this is actually kind of funny to me. Campy was a former teammate of mine, so GG's to her and her trio. But they're going to push up on top right here. You're going to see Acorn again be kind of the catalyst. Good block offs, really good creative retakes, protected. Easy high ground. Gets a nice little full boxed right here. The opponent does do a good job of editing out. Opponent actually hits him for a little bit. Now this opponent does a huge mistake editing out on a charge. 128 and then a good right hand peek. Not much he could do. He's going to get that finish. Slacks is getting off a medkit. Jahq is getting pressured pretty hard as well. Doesn't get him off, but Acorn is going to be the kind of the catalyst. He's going to just jump down in here. Kind of spam through. I believe Campy gets taken out from a nice little one-on-one cone slid. So GG's, good stuff from this particular trio already. As we see, just kind of winning their solo fights and not aggressing when they have so much low health. Notice Jahq was low health, but Acorn wasn't, and he created a pinch on that last solo to end that fight quickly. Let's kind of cycle through here. Alright, so this is the next engagement. We kind of need to follow Acorn in this early game because he really is the catalyst for most of these fights. And then once it Slacks is really who plays the more aggressive role. Now this is kind of funny. What ends up happening here is Acorn's going to end up using bouncer charge a lot. Uses some good retakes, tunnels, crack, boom, nice. And this is kind of just pure skill as playing as a solo. Cracked. And Jahq ends up getting a takeout on his own. Let's just see how Jahq won that 1v1 over there. But you see just two opponents bouncing out in the open, kind of brain dead. Good pressure from Slacks right there actually is what allows that elimination. And then basically Acorn killing both of those floppers in the air who are bouncing out in the open. Lord knows why they're deciding to actually hop on that bouncer. But let's kind of fast forward into the next portion. I don't know if it's in Weeping, but they end up... Yes, this is the fight as Weeping. Alright, so Slacks gets beams. He kind of gets a little bit isolated. He gets off, gets his heals. Huge crack from Acorn, kind of fragging out as a solo. Now this is very scuffed. He's baiting with the charge right here. Slacks immediately comes over to help. He just whiffs his shot, unfortunately, gets taken out, but Acorn's going to be right here, and you're going to see what happens. And then he lags out here, unfortunately, stays there, so Slacks gets revived. And let's kind of get on, because the rest of this VOD review, and you still see all the kills, Slacks absolutely pops off. But Acorn was really the catalyst for this trio of 14. But Slacks really just picks up the slack here. It's really impressive, as you can hear that annoying P90 just go over and over. Alright, I don't know why he's flying through the air, but you've got to see this this snipe from Jahq, and this is something that I've talked about, that if you're fighting as a duo, you need to be carrying power loot, and a sniper is what I consider power loot. He hits one for 104. He then hops in this truck and headshot snipes this kid in midair, which is huge. Now this 2v3 that it was is now a 3v3, and he's already done 104 damage to the other opponent. So he's gonna basically try to get his finish. He hops out, gets his finish, and then slacks. They're getting spammed out. He goes for a no-scope here. That's just kind of confidence. Good retake right here. Now Slacks is going to win this 2v1 essentially right here. Good cracks right here. Opponent, he gets into a super scuffed position. Now this opponent knows he's going to edit. He misses his shot, but his movement is what saves him. Let's take a look at his movement. Ducking back to the right, 105. And then he stands up. Notice just kind of crouch spamming. It's very big with attack. It's good mouse and keyboard players do it. It's really easy for controller players to do it, but it's really nice to see it on mouse and keyboard. Very important. He ends up winning that engagement. So now let's fast forward to the next portion. Slacks is going to be a W King Fool for the rest of it. They end up going to Sweaty. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Apologize. So now what ends up happening here, you get a trio that isn't half bad. Way better than the last trio. We're going to take a look at Jahq, because Jahq, I believe, ends up getting the first knock of this engagement. But notice they don't take any 50-50s, really. They slow play this very well. They chug splash. They're looking for angles. They're not playing tons of pressure. Now, this is such a safe peek. This is the stuff you need to be doing, especially if you're in a man disadvantage. This is like an Acorn peek into kind of a Noah Riley at a cone slide. Super wide. It gets a nice 80 damage total between those two players, but isn't over aggressing. He ends up backing off of that because he doesn't own a lot of it. Now creates a right hand peek, covers his left side. Jahq then gets a nice little crack, resets. 130, takes that 50-50. He's already done damage. He's going to get his minis off. Now let's go to Slacks. Slacks probably didn't see this earlier, but it looks like he picks off solos, right? He's not editing on a duo. Gets that top. Yes, he finds a solo. Notice that's a duo before, and he completely goes away from it. Nice, good, really good stuff right there. Just finds that nice little last solo, and boom, that's a GG's right there. And then I believe Jahq is going to pick up this last elimination right here. Chasing this opponent who's running away. Good, beams him. Going to use the bouncers. Gets on the wall. Does double swing, gets it cone. Misses the shot. Hits up for 30. Really good timing. He was fortunate to not get cracked there. Bounces up, and then this opponent is just cranking, wasting 90s. He knows he's dead. Now he's going to get RPG out of this. This is going to be a huge part of their success. Let's go into the next portion. Now there's this duo in a car. Good attempt to the snipe. You see, as a duo, you need power loot, you need sniper, you need RPG stuff that's going to end fights quickly. Jahq is going to be on the case, using that RPG to get a ton of piece control. He misses the shot, but it is going to still result in a humongous crack right here. So Slack's going to come in and finish that after 40. Metro's Classics in and ends the fight fast. They're going to end up shaking. This opponent ends up doing the dash, so they end up shaking. And you're going to see Jahq get an elimination here with his RPG, just because they know exactly where he is. Opponent not being very smart, not comms, and saying, hey, they shook. You probably need to build. They know exactly where you are. And that's what ends up happening. Oops, hit the wrong button here. Let's go to Slacks. Now Slacks, again, like I said, is going to pop off. But again, power loot here, you're going to see this as a common theme. Jahq sees this. They see this trio just kind of running out in the open. And what's going to end up happening here? Nice little headshot snipe. Now again, 3v2 turned into a 2v3. Jahq's gonna, this is the most important engagement because this is insane to do as a duo, but it shows the importance of power loot. So what he's going to do is RPG get a ton of piece control, stop any potential of a res. This is going to make this opponent basically panic. Gets the wall, cone slid, slacks, good right hand peek, good movement. Opponent's super weak, and then they crack him. And so what's going to then happen up here, Slacks is going to realize this opponent is basically rezzing out in the open. Cracked. Peanut butter peek, shoots through cone slide, and then Slacks is there for the finish. Really, really good stuff. And that's how you wipe a trio in less than 20 seconds as a duo. Now, like I said, Jahq kind of plays a support role with this RPG, and Slacks really fries and frags out, as you can see. Let's go into the next engagement here. RPG to start off the fight, shoots through, covers his back, creates a lot of space, making this into a kind of box fight. And they're methodically together, playing together, pushing in, not over-aggressing, slowly taking pieces, looking for angles. They're protected as this, and reloading RPG, again, good amounts of pressure. Notice they're playing hand-in-hand as a duo, very crucial. You're going to see a beautiful pinch executed here in a second. Now you're going to see Slacks on this particular opponent, but this opponent goes out to the right. But let's go switch over to Jahq's POV. Jahq's on a wall. He gets a nice little crack. Cone slides him right here, cracks him again. Now look at where Slacks is going to be. Gets that wall, and that's a textbook pinch, isolating this particular individual off. Nice little crack right there as well. Good recognition where that other opponent is. Opponent having to respect the charge allows him to get some movement. Jahq's kind of to be the one that applies a particularly good amount of pressure onto this solo. This opponent ends up running for a significant amount of time. You're going to see a minor mistake here. Double swing, get some chip for a little bit of damage. Opponent didn't hit hard, but double swing can do that at times. This is such a good understanding of the POI. Drops down through the elevator shaft, cuts this opponent off. They have the wall, and now it's a 2v1. There's no way he's going to kill them both. Even if he eats a ton of damage, what ends up happening is they wombo combo him. He is dead. Now you're going to see Jahq doesn't really have any frags the rest of the way. Slacks does. Let's kind of get into the next portion. Get all this extra loot. Now they get into this super duper congested side. They break into this old tarp that they see this opponents have done a horrible job of covering their back. RPG pressure, again, being huge. They kind of triple spray and help the whole lobby. Now, this is kind of some of the dangers if you're W King like this when you're getting pressure from the side. Slacks does get tagged for a little bit. He backs off, though. Good awareness to not kind of continuing. Doesn't even worry about the big pot. They want to continue to get these kills. See this, they basically isolate the solo. Good attempt. The solo does a pretty good job of running. You see all these good attempts at piece control playing together again. Same thing, right? They're holding their hands. They're just a duo, right? Even if it's a solo, they're still playing extremely tight because they're at a disadvantage. But you're gonna see that this pressure, they're walking hand in hand. Good crack from Jahq right there, as you saw. Then you heard someone else get fried. He goes up. And then it's the same thing. Now they have a pinch on both sides. Jahq has that front wall, and now they've sandwiched him, and they pick up that nice little solo in elimination. Jahq does get up getting fried a tad bit. Now you're going to see, I believe, a fry from either Jahq or a single opponent's going to cause them to bounce her over. Not only that because of that, but because of zone, I believe, as well. They have a pretty favorable zone. But Slacks is going to get a little bit of elevation. Notice not building floors to save what little mats. Yes, someone is going to get a fry on this opponent to the right. They're kind of wanting to play here. Was it Jahq? Yes, Jahq ends up getting a fry on this opponent. And so what they do is they see him as a solo for the most part. So they decide to bounce her over. But they also use it as a moment to basically connect and keep high ground. Pulse her to zone. They basically cut that solo off. They realized that solo was trying to be. I don't know if that's his teammates, if they were just lagging behind. He was just rotating without them. But it allows them to get high ground, and now they have a short rotation and RPG on height and floppers. See these opponents rotating in. See these other opponents frying. That's what high ground's going to do. You're going to see these people bouncer. It's going to... This guy gets absolutely fried as well. And then we're going to kind of see Jahq get some fries as well. Gets this opponent to 1 HP. You're going to see that Slacks pick up a solo right here. Just a good job recognition. He's doing this because he has 4 floppers and lots of bouncers, or he has only a couple bouncers, but he bouncers ahead. Jahq RPGing the person that's most ahead. Really smart from right here. Not even worried about it. Good recognition of the opponent's right there. That's a really good flick play, to be honest. A little bit of a solo play. It could have been really bad if the opponent would have been healthier, to be honest. But he makes it work. Now this opponent's kind of sitting in storm, and I believe Jahq's going to get the fry on him. He does. Now it's just a duo here, and this is kind of creating a natural pinch in endgame. You see everyone's focused on Jahq ahead. He has floppers, so he's playing towards back. Jahq does not have flowers, so that's why, or flowers. Floppers? They have floppers, both of them. Slacks has floppers, so that's why he's playing back towards zone side. And so these opponents have to move here. They're not even aware that Slacks is there, and then they'd be the same team. You wouldn't expect this, but this is a natural pinch just by their positioning. Nice little fry off shield right there. Then you're gonna, I believe Jahq is gonna end up actually picking up these last 2 kills. Nope. Slacks is gonna end up picking one from the back. He stays in storm using his floppers, and that is a GG's. Really great stuff from this trio. The biggest takeaway is just they really played well as a duo. They didn't let the fact that their teammate lagged out didn't prevent them from having an insanely good first start to the tournament. I mean, 69 points is pretty much halfway to qual on NA East. It's like 120-ish is qual for opens. So they didn't adopt a bad mentality. They still kept their confidence with their W King and netted them a ton of points. I mean, I understand they're professional players, but this is stuff that's going to happen. Sometimes your solo is going to get picked off, or solo of one of your teams is going to get picked off, and you're not going to be able to reboot. You're going to have connection issues. It is a part of the game. But this trio just adapted. They just adapted. They both took sniper. They both ended up hitting some headshots with their sniper rifles. They picked up RPG, power loot, ending fights fast with piece control and tons of pressure, allowing them to finish their knocks. They played together. That was the biggest thing. They played together. You noticed they were hugging when they were chasing opponents, when they were fighting. They also recognized when they were in 2v2 situations, and when they were in 3v2 situations, they turned them extremely fast into 2v2 situations. That's the thing. You never really saw them get super duper isolated. The best team fight they took was after the team that they sniped out of the car that Jahq. When they were in that 3v3, you notice both of them, they didn't play as tight together, but when they were solos, 1, they didn't get isolated themselves. 2, they took 1v1s and won both of them, and then they were able to get the last guy. You saw particularly Slacks saw that there was 2 people in the box didn't go in, and then when he saw the solo isolated, he went in the box. That's a little minute detail that is incredibly important. You don't want to take that 50-50 trade when you're already down a man, because more than likely they'll be able to get the res off with that extra 2v1. One can hold, and the other one can hold, the other can res. So it's really important. Small little minute details. So overall, again, confidence, overcoming adversity, 2 big portions, and then using power loot to turn 3v3s or 3v2s into 2v2s, and then dominating 2v2s by playing tight and together, and then just smart endgame playing, using high ground beaming, creating natural pinches, use of floppers, just pretty much textbook stuff. It wasn't really stacked endgame. Like I said, this is a W King Opens game and a big server, so that's not going to be the best players and its first game. So great stuff from this trio. That is going to do it for today's VOD, you guys. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. And I hope I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.